The anime begins in the royal capital of Paluma, a world where demi-humans are slaves and the treatment of demi-humans is harsh. But only Banzo was the one who showed kindness to demi-humans and paid extra for their hard work. The demi-humans tried to return the money, knowing other humans would look down on Banzo for showing kindness to them. But his assistant Quinn told the guy to accept it since Banzo wouldn't back down. Banzo wanted equality for both humans and demi-humans, but suddenly his hands started to glow and with a flash of light, he vanished and was summoned to an unknown place. In the Kiro Kingdom, where Banzo was summoned as a hero candidate. Then a minister told him they were battling against the Dark Army, so they had to summon heroes from other worlds. He brought out a crystal to assess Banzo's powers, and all the hero candidates received divine blessings, powers beyond imagination. But Banzo didn't receive the blessing, and he was just an ordinary guy with level 1. So Banzo asked them to send him back home, but on his right side, a blonde guy got summoned with maxed out abilities. He was no doubt a hero, and everyone left Banzo alone and didn't pay any attention to him. So the gate got closed, and he was left alone with no one. And even the king was busy with the blonde guy while ignoring Banzo. He was on the balcony wishing to get back home, but the gate had just closed due to their negligence in ignoring Banzo, and their inability to send Banzo back was the failure of their nation. So the king decided to send Banzo up to the north of the Dava forest, where he would live out the rest of his life. They excommunicated Banzo to hide their mistake, and the next morning Banzo was thrown into a carriage that would take him to the north. He tried to talk to the lizard men, but they were ordered not to talk with Banzo. So the days went by, and he arrived in the north after 20 days. The king had given him a magic bag with unlimited storage, but before leaving, the lizard warned him that a dark army lurks in this forest, so he must stay alert. With that, he left Banzo, and Banzo was relieved that the magic bag worked the same as in his world. He had many things for survival, but he brought out a shiny sword first. Some slimes came out, but they looked harmless. He was wrong though. But with just a few hits, the blade reached its limit. Then a window showed Banzo had just leveled up, and his stats had no number in them. Banzo didn't know about this symbol, but it meant he gained an infinite cheat skill system. After that, his AI magic system warned him that his magic bag was enchanted with a monster-luring location tracking spell, which explains why those slimes attacked him. It was the king's doing. He wanted to kill Banzo by pulling these dirty tricks. So, the system suggested the removal of the spell, and Banzo agreed. Instead of getting angry, Banzo thought of exploring the woods, but the system warned him of the malice ahead. Malice here is a gaseous thing that comes out of demons, so the system wanted to purify the forest. Banzo told the system to go right ahead, and with a big surge of divine power, the system purified the malice entirely. Now that he increased his level 100-fold, Banzo was shocked by the notifications. Meanwhile, in the capital, the first princess tried to persuade her father that he did wrong with Banzo, but the king couldn't care less what happens to a level 1 like him. Then a mage came out to inform him that large-scale divine power was detected. The king thought it must be from their overpowered blonde hero, but the mage corrected the king that the blonde hero was headed to the south, and the holy power came from the north, where they threw off Banzo. Now, we have to wait to see their reaction when they see Banzo. After a while, the level up notifications finally stopped at level 367, but he still doesn't get the symbol of infinity, so he told the system to hide such notifications from now on. So the system showed him the shape-shifting magic and turned him into a girl, but Banzo was proud of his gender, so he reverted back to his original form. Instead, he changed his looks and now he wanted to go to a town. The system suggested using teleportation magic, and with it, Banzo returned to the capital. But it clicked in his mind, so he commanded the system to teleport him to his world. But nothing happened. He's stuck here. So he explored the town and thought of joining the Merchant Guild, but without any identification, it would be difficult. So Banzo went to the Adventurers Guild to sign up. And there the receptionist gave him a briefing on the ranks of an adventurer. Banzo was fine with it, and gave a fake name to register. He started from the lowest rank of E, but there he saw a girl begging the adventurers to escort her to the north with a little money. She wanted to go to that forest where rumors say the Dark Army has gathered, so no one accepted her request. So Banzo happily agreed to take her there with his teleportation magic, which shocked the whole room. Then the Night Lady Balasa came in to question Banzo. They thought Banzo was a slave trader, because teleportation magic is the rarest of rare magic that barely anyone in this world could cast. So he agreed to show them the spell and took them outside to prove it. He cast the teleportation magic and took them all to the north in mere seconds. Shocked by this, their mage Bolano thought Banzo must be a great sorcerer of the highest order, but he told her he's just a regular guy. Then Balasa apologized to him for her rudeness, and the kid was surprised that all the malice from the woods was gone. Banzo tried to tell him it was his doing, but the system warned him not to disclose his purification powers to a demon. The knights got on their guard because they heard a kid was lurking in the Adventurers Guild to escort her to Dava Forest, but whenever someone helped her, they vanished. After that, she showed her true colors at last. She was a demon of a high level and turned into a wolf. Her name was Fenri, younger sister of Pharrell, and her plans were to just observe as her brother ordered, but now she wants to kill all of them. But Banzo sent the girls back to the capital with teleportation magic and stayed behind to fight Fenri and their Fenri attacks, and Banzo used a leap spell to avoid her. The second time, he blocked her attack with earth magic. Fenri couldn't even come near Banza, and in the end, he used a gravity spell to stop her. Banza wanted to stop her without harming her, and the system suggested a subjugation spell that could manipulate the target and its thoughts. Banza didn't like it, and Fenri was trying to break free. The system kept nullifying her spells and kept suggesting to Banza to use subjugation, but if he did, the girl would practically become his slave. Banza didn't know what to do, but luckily, Fenri gave up and surrendered as she exhausted her magic. She was prepared for her death, but Banza took off his spell. He thought demons and humans weren't any different, so he didn't want to kill her. Fenri gave up and turned back, but she had no clothes, so Banza gave her a cloak and asked her not to fight humans and return home. He pulled out some clothes from his inventory, but Fenri passed out. She was just exhausted, so Banza set up a camp and was thinking about how others saw him when he mentioned the teleportation spell. There, Fenri woke up and saw Banza outside, so she came out wearing the clothes Banza gave her. She vowed to Banza that she wouldn't attack humans without any reason, wanting to repay him with her life. She was happy to be used as a slave as long as she could stay by his side. Banza didn't want to own people, so Fenri gave him puppy dog eyes to torture him. But Banza didn't give in. Fenri felt like she had no reason to live anymore, and that finally convinced Banza to let her follow him. At the royal castle, the maxed out hero came back with a shameful defeat in his first fight, having lost the majority of his troops. The king asked him what happened, and the blonde hero blamed the knights, saying they lacked discipline. He claimed that when the monsters showed up, the soldiers panicked and broke formation, but he saved as many knights as he could, so the king should be grateful. In reality, he had been at the back during the fight, and when the monsters showed up, he was the first to run away, blaming the knights afterward. Despite his maxed out stats, the joke was that he hadn't learned any of his skills. His personal servant came out, and the blonde hero took her out to enjoy the money the king had given him. Meanwhile, Banza and Fenri arrived in town and wanted to get a job and a house. A shopkeeper called Fenri Madam, thinking that Banza and Fenri were married. They did look like that, and Fenri was totally on board because the women of her tribe wanted nothing more than a strong husband. Even if it was just pretending, Fenri was still over the moon because, in her tribe, couples eat a bone from the prey they hunted together to bond. But there was an urgent quest announced to kill psycho bears in the north, a task that even the hero had failed to complete. Banza thought to skip it since even the hero couldn't defeat them, but Fenri asked to handle them herself, reasoning that if she could beat them, it would prove Banza was more powerful than the bears. When they arrived at the site, they heard a cry and saw that the knights were surrounded by the bears. Banza used a thunder spell to cook the bears, and Fenri joined in as well. This batch of knights was saved by Banza again, and he introduced Fenri as his traveling companion. However, Fenri was upset because the bear didn't dare lay a hand on her, and it surrendered. Fenri had the idea to keep it as a pet. Others were scared because the terrifying bear was tamed by the two of them. They went to an inn and got to know each other better. The knights asked Bonza to train them because, apparently, the hero was throwing a tantrum and refused to fight until the knights became stronger. The king had ordered the knights to get stronger to join the hero, and Barisa and her knight friend wanted to get stronger too. However, Bonza wasn't sure because he depended on the system. Fenri didn't like the idea of having women around, but Bonza told them he wanted to live comfortably with his wife to avoid them. Fenri changed her tune after hearing that and said it was fine for Bonza to train them, so Bonza agreed. Away from there, the demon general Yims reported to the Demon King that Frey's force near Delay Forest had been wiped out by a random person, which piqued the demon lord's interest. He ordered them to bring him the person, no matter what. The next day, Bonza freaked out because of the way Fenri was gawking at him. They were staying in the same room, and Bonza remembered last night when she invited him to her bed, but the guy wanted to be prepared emotionally, which crushed her dream. She is a wolf, so her way of marriage is different. Bonza thought of sleeping outside, but if he did, Balassa and others might suspect their relationship, so Bonza had no other option but to sleep there. Fenri wanted to help Bonza change clothes, and Balassa walked in. She thought she was in their way, so she left. After that, Bonza started training the girls, but they were really a lost cause. Then Bonza gave them a room because he got the home at a cheap price. Fenri made a meal for them, but again, she's a wolf, and they eat their meat raw. So Bonza cooked the food, and Balassa helped him out. She came from a fallen noble family, so she had to learn cooking. Fenri was sure it wouldn't taste good, but the salad was Bonza's work. She ate it and understood what real food tasted like. After that, Bonza and Fenri kept hunting a huge number of high-level beasts, so others were being skeptical of them. But then, Fenri wanted to go somewhere, and Bonza gave her permission. The guildmaster called Bonza out to his office and told him that he had received an invitation to work under the hero to save humanity from demons. Bonza had been hunting down A-rank beasts, so it caught the attention of others. The guildmaster thought it was a good chance for Bonza to save the world and earn a title for himself. But still, Bonza is from another world, so he doesn't have any obligation to save others and fight demons. So he rejected the offer. When he got out, Fenri was totally beat up. She couldn't tell how she messed up in her cooking class, but she looked like a mess. She did everything extra and messed up while practicing, but she still wants to learn cooking for her hubby. On the other side, that useless piece of trash heard about Bonza and Fenri, and his servant thought it would be great if they served under him. So Blondie ordered them to be brought to him, but Bonza kept rejecting them for over a month, which got annoying. Then Blossom was tending the farm fields as she came from a farmer's family. She got help from their pet, and Fenri was teaching Bai about archery. Belano was exhausted from using magic, so Bonza gave her a ring that would increase her magic capacity. She tried to wear it on her ring finger, but she received a death threat if she did that. Balassa acted like she was in trouble, and Fenri took care of it. She planned to get Bonza's attention, and Fenri knew it very well, but something was going on out there. At night, Fenri made a huge feast, as she had finally learned cooking. She worked really hard to make Bonza happy. She even made a special dish that her teacher suggested to make her man happy. It was curry, and Bonza loved it. Yimas was shocked to see the most feared female warrior in the demon army acting cute like this. So Fenri went out to welcome her and invited Yulim inside. Yulim told Fenri she came there to investigate, nothing more. Fenri revealed she was staying with her husband, which was shocking news. Fenri asked her not to disturb her life. Yulim was still nervous, and even while she was there, Bonza wasn't scared at all. More so, she couldn't see Bon's level at all. Yulim brought up the Dilava forest, where there were no monsters. Bonza said he had purified the area long ago. Yulim got upset and told Fenri how she could stay with the person who killed her brother and his entire troops. Fenri was stationed in that forest and already knew that her brother was killed by Bonza. As there are only a few people with purification powers, pitting his death would be an insult to her brother. Besides, Fenri said she fell in love with Banza and his power and chose him as her master of her own free will, so her feelings won't change. The girls overheard the conversation, and Ullum thought Fenri had betrayed the demon army. So Ullum planned to fight Banza to take out both him and Fenri. But Fenri thought Ullum was trying to seduce Banza with the excuse of a fight. Even so, Banza accepted the duel, and the fight began. Ullum attempted to attack Banza and Fenri, but Banza canceled her spell. He knew she was targeting Fenri as well. He'd caught her, and Ullum surrendered too easily. The next day, they revealed everything to the other girls, and Banza said they could report it to the castle if they wanted to. Balassa thought that is what a knight should do, but they weren't so heartless after seeing how good these two were. Outside, Ymas brought the Dragon Gang, rumored to be the strongest force in the demon army, to kill Banza and Fenri. But Banza was rather excited to see a dragon. Men will be men. Banza cooked the lizard at the perfect temperature, and the ones who were left ran off for their lives. Blossom thought she could have landed the final hit too easily to get the Dragon Slayer title, so Banza told her to throw her tool. She did as he told her, and Banza used a spell on it. It got one of the dragons, and Blossom really got the title. Others wanted that too, but the dragons had already left, missing the chance. The Demon Lord saw the whole thing and decided to visit Banza himself. Banza made a barrier around the area to sense if another demon came over again, and Fenri was ready to fend off that cat if she dared to return. She became agitated just remembering her because Banza was so nice to her. Banza, however, couldn't help but feel guilty after finding out he was the one who killed Fen's brother. Yet, Fenri knew everything and never minded. Meanwhile, Blossom couldn't stop staring at her new title, Dragon Slayer, all thanks to Banza and his spell that helped her slay the dragon. Balassa, on the other hand, went off to hunt magic beasts again. Though she appeared disciplined, diligently training every day, she was secretly jealous because she also wanted the Dragon Slayer title. To her, just the title alone would be enough to earn her favor with the kingdom. If she had gained that title, she could have restored her noble family's status and reclaimed their home in the capital, which they lost when her father was a knight. Suddenly, a man arrived asking for directions, saying his friend lived in the area. Balassa grew suspicious and on guard, asking if he was friends with Foe. The man said his wife was, and Balassa deduced he was a demon. He told her he had just come to check up on her, and for now, she believed him but told him to return. Before leaving, the man said his name was Gozel, and told her to mention it to Fenri. Afterward, Banza and Fenri arrived, and Balassa told them about the demon named Gozel. Fenri immediately recognized that Gozel was a fake name, realizing the demon was actually the Dark One, or rather, the Demon Lord himself. Balassa had unknowingly confronted the King of Demons and was now melting down from the realization of her bravery. The next day, Gozel dropped by the house again for a chat. This time, Banza met him and invited him in for a comfortable talk, with Balassa caught in the middle. Fenri asked if Gozel's visit was for revenge, but Gozel got straight to the point and invited Banza to join his army. Banza declined once more. Gozel assumed the Clyro kingdom must have been on edge, wanting Banza for themselves, but Banza lived secluded and informed him that he was not from this world. Banza refused to pick a side merely because he was human, and didn't understand the reason behind the war. Gozel was surprised no one had told Banza, and he admitted he didn't fully know the reason either. The war had been raging for over 500 years since the first Demon Lord ascended the throne. The first Demon Lord came from another world and was accepted by demons who were oppressed by humans at the time. For 12 generations, every Demon Lord sought to rule the world, but Gozel was different. He had no interest in ruling, but still wanted to protect his people. He tried to convince Banza to join him, but Banza calmly rejected the offer again. Fenri enjoyed the tea more than the conversation, while the Demon King was fascinated by Banza's bravery. Still, Gozel didn't give up and left for now, but Balassa saw her life flash before her eyes. The next day, Gozel visited again, and Balassa ran away from him. The following day, he showed up once more, and Balassa ran again, continuing a comical cat-and-mouse chase. Eventually, a spy from the kingdom reported to the king that a demon kept visiting Banza. The king was ready to send his soldiers, but the first princess wisely advised him that it was unclear whether Banza had joined the demon army, and they might drive him to the demons if they upset him. She suggested they talk instead. However, the dumb, useless hero overheard and demanded soldiers so he could visit Banza himself. Meanwhile, Gozel told Ymas he was trying to win Banza over, but she informed him that others were unhappy with Gozel's actions. Banza was considering starting a new business selling dragon-scale items to make a living, but someone crossed his barrier. It was the hero and his army. The hero gave Banza two options: join him or be labeled a traitor for associating with a demon. The useless fool thought Banza was nervous because he couldn't answer. The hero dreamed of beating the Demon King, but Banza rejected him, choosing not to side with humans or demons. The hero then labeled Banza a traitor, but the girls defended him, saying Banza was not a traitor. The hero gave them two options as well: either convince Banza to join or be arrested. Tired of the hero's nonsense and how he involved innocent people, Banza decided to leave. Fenrir was on board, and the girls also wanted to go with them. They believed the war between humans and demons was pointless and refused to follow a trash hero who threatened innocent lives. With that decision, Banza teleported his house, even the farm fields, to a new location. No one could believe their eyes. Banza had moved everything, including the fields. Gozel arrived and saw the mess the hero had caused. He had worked so hard to earn Banza's trust, but now Banza was lost without a trace. Gozel knew Banza would never pick his side now. Enraged, he ordered an all-out attack on the humans. Meanwhile, the cowardly hero ran away again. Banza and his family were teleported to the west of the kingdom, now near Hofo town, far from both the hero and the Demon King. The girls were just happy to live peacefully there, but war was now inevitable.
When the king heard about it, a soldier told him that the hero was hiding in his house, rendering him useless. The king's aide suggested casting purification over the entire kingdom. At the north, the Demon King's messenger informed him of this, and the Demon King ordered Yemus to retreat, not wanting any of his men to get caught in the purification. The humans cast the purification, which spread across the kingdom. At the same time, Ban returned home, where Fenrir was happily waiting for him, and during their meal, he mentioned he was searching for a trusted merchant to start his business. Fenrir said she would take care of them, as it was her duty as the leader's wife to take care of the pack. Feeling awkward, Ban told them to just focus on their swordsmanship and magic. Meanwhile, in the capital, after casting the purification, the spell would take 3 months to wear off. However, the mages had depleted their magic, leaving them unconscious, even the king. The princess took on the duties of the king and ordered the hero to be thrown out, as it was his duty to protect the kingdom, but he had never shown up. The ministers considered summoning a new hero, but they didn't have enough mages to do so. The princess then chose to call the oracle for advice. Blondie was thrown out of his mansion and naturally didn't take it well, starting to throw blind threats, but the soldiers didn't care. The real hero, Ban, was enjoying his life with his wife. Ban thanked Fenrir for all her hard work since they had moved. Fenrir said she would do anything for him, and before Ban could say anything else, she fell asleep. Ban was happy that he was not alone in this world. The next day, the ladies gave them some time to go out on a date and took responsibility for the house. However, Ban was feeling shy, even though he's married. Fenrir didn't pass up the opportunity and took Ban out on a date. They enjoyed their time like a normal couple, had snacks, went shopping, and visited the market, where Ban wanted to buy anything Fenrir wanted as a sign of appreciation for all she had done. Fenrir was overjoyed since no one had ever given her a gift. At the souvenir shop, Fenrir got stuck looking at a brooch, and Ban bought it without a second thought. Fenrir had been smiling ever since, which was obvious just by looking at her face. The other girls understood that their date went well. That night, Fenrir snuck into Ban's bed to sleep with him. She was sound asleep, and Ban, feeling shy, adjusted her position as she wanted to stick close to him. The night passed just like that. The next day, that useless piece of trash, Blondie, broke into the treasury of the castle with his servant girl, looking for treasure or a weapon to defeat the demon lord and prove he was the one true hero. He believed he was chosen by fate, but was jealous that Ban could use a teleportation spell, which he couldn't. He wanted power, and then something started calling him, offering him the power he desired if he would release it. At a hidden door, he found a sword, and the voice instructed him to pull it out. Only Blondie could hear this voice. He pulled the sword, and a storm started swirling around. From it came a girl named Ha, a djinn. According to the rules in Aladdin stories in An'am, whoever releases the djinn gets 3 wishes. Just as Blondie was about to make his wish, the scene shifted to the princess. The oracle had just arrived at the castle when collars appeared on everyone's necks. The oracle explained that they were sacrifice collars. Whenever someone makes a wish to the djinn, it takes a sacrifice, and once the wish is completed, those sacrifices will die. The princess explained that the first king had done the same, wishing to the djinn, which resulted in half the kingdom's population being sacrificed. That djinn had been sealed, and it took all the mages' powers to do so. Now, Blondie had released her. The princess ordered an investigation of the treasury vault and asked the oracle for advice. Using her power, the oracle told them to find the real hero, as he was currently in this world. Hearing this, everyone knew she was talking about Ban. The oracle told them that the hero was in the west, so someone ordered troops to bring Ban. However, the kingdom needed their remaining troops for defense, so the princess decided to go herself. At that time, Ban was showing a shield he made to a blacksmith to start his business. Ban told the blacksmith he had other items to sell and was looking for a trusted store owner to back him. The owner agreed to trust him. The girls were watching, and Balassa was impressed by Ban's negotiation skills. Fenry already knew that Ban had been a merchant in his previous world. Balassa envied Fenry for having Ban as her husband, and Fenry got on guard, thinking Balassa wanted Ban. However, Fenry pointed out that Balassa already had a suitor, Bull. Balassa was terrified at the thought. Ban came out with a deal done, and Fenry was sad that she wouldn't be able to spend as much time with Ban as she used to. She'd asked him to go hunting with her from time to time, and Ban agreed. Then Ha appeared. After identifying Ban, she attacked him. Ban's auto-defense activated, but Fenry, unaware of this, intervened and was seriously wounded. Ha attempted to attack again, but couldn't harm Ban. Ban tried to heal Fenry, but her injuries were too severe. Overwhelmed with grief, Ban lost his mind. And this is how you turn a hero into a villain. And that's where episode 5 ends. Until then, take care.